It is late. The streets are quiet. The kind of quiet that feels too still. Streetlights flicker above empty sidewalks. Your breath is the only sound you hear. And then, footsteps. Slow, measured, following behind you. You tell yourself it is nothing. Just someone walking home. Just coincidence. But deep down, something feels wrong. In Japan, there is a legend whispered to children on rainy nights. A story told in classrooms, in alleyways, on the long walk home after sunset. A woman appears, her face hidden, her smile unseen. She will stop you. She will tilt her head, and she will ask one simple question. Am I beautiful? Your answer decides your fate. Some say she was once human. Some say she was betrayed. Some say she still walks because she was never allowed peace. Her name is Kuchisake-Onna, the slit-mouthed woman, and she does not forgive. Tonight, you will not just hear her story, you will walk through it. You will hear her breath. You will feel her presence. And by the end, you may find yourself glancing over your shoulder, just in case. Imagine walking alone, cold air brushing against your neck, your hands tucked into your coat. A woman steps into your path. She wears a mask or a scarf, or her long black hair hides her mouth. Her eyes are calm, too calm. She leans closer and asks,
私、綺麗?
What would you say? If you say no, she kills you. If you say yes, she removes her mask, revealing a mouth cut from ear to ear, flesh torn, teeth stained. And she asks again, how about now? There is no safe answer, only delay, only fear. This legend has haunted Japan for generations, not as a monster in the forest, not as a ghost in ruins, but as something worse, something that walks beside you, something that wears a face you trust, something that asks politely,
私、綺麗?
before it destroys you. Kuchisake-Onna is fear in human shape. Tonight, we trace her story, from ancient whispers to modern terror. We uncover who she was, what was done to her, and why she still walks. So listen closely, and remember, if a woman stops you in the dark and asks a simple question, your answer may be the last thing you ever say. To understand Kuchisake-Onna, we must first understand how legends are born in Japan. Not from books, not from movies, but from whispers, from memory, from fear passed quietly between generations. In Japan, folklore is not separate from daily life. It breathes in old streets, in forgotten alleyways, in shrines hidden between buildings. Stories are not told to entertain, they are told to warn. And Kuchisake-Onna is a warning wrapped in tragedy. The earliest versions of the slit-mouthed woman trace back hundreds of years. Some historians believe she first appeared during Japan's Edo period, a time of rigid social rules, honor, and severe punishment. In those days, a woman's beauty was her power and her prison. A woman who dishonored her family or husband could face violent consequences: disfigurement, exile, death. In such a world, a woman with a destroyed face was not just a victim. She was a symbol of jealousy, of betrayal, of a society that punished women silently. But Kuchisake-Onna did not become famous until much later. In the 1970s, Japan experienced a sudden rise in urban legends. Stories spread through children, schools, and newspapers. Reports began to surface. A woman in a mask was approaching children after school, asking them a strange question, then vanishing into the dark. Police patrols increased. Schools warned students. Parents walked their children home. For a time, the entire country held its breath. Japan is a culture where masks are common. For illness, for politeness, for privacy. A masked woman is normal. She blends in. She does not stand out. That is what makes Kuchisake-Onna terrifying. She does not look like a monster. She looks ordinary. Fear does not always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Legends like Kuchisake-Onna taught children to stay alert, to avoid strangers, to be cautious after dark. But over time, the warning became something else. It became a presence, a shadow in the corner of the mind. A story so powerful, it felt real. Because maybe, in some way, it was. And behind every legend, there is always a human story. A real woman, a real pain, a real moment where fear was born. Before she became Kuchisake-Onna, she was a woman like any other. A daughter, a wife, a mother perhaps, or a young woman full of dreams and laughter. She had a face that could light a room, eyes that held curiosity, a smile that made strangers pause. And yet, the world around her was unforgiving. She may have lived in a quiet town, a place of narrow streets, wooden houses, and lanterns glowing at night. Perhaps she was proud of her beauty, but beauty is dangerous, especially in a society where jealousy can become lethal. Her story varies depending on who tells it. Some say she was vain. Some say she was gentle. Some say she loved to smile too much. No matter the version, there was always one constant. She attracted attention, and that attention turned into hatred. One night, someone betrayed her. Perhaps a jealous husband, perhaps a scorned lover. They struck with cruelty, a sharp blade, a whispered curse. Her mouth slashed from ear to ear, her beauty stolen in an instant. Pain consumed her body. Anger consumed her soul. Some say she begged for help. Some say she cried silently in the dark, but help never came. No one witnessed the horror that night, or if they did, they turned away. In that pain, something changed. Hatred, desperation, a desire for revenge. Some say a ritual was performed. Some say the curse came naturally, born from suffering. Her spirit refused to leave the earth. The woman who had smiled freely, who had walked in the sun without fear, was gone. In her place, a shadow lingered. And so she walked the streets, night after night, hiding her face, testing humanity, asking her question, "Am I beautiful?" Some nights she was calm, Some nights, she was furious. Every yes or no shaped her rage. Every encounter deepened the legend. She was no longer human, but she carried the memory of it. And that memory made her more terrifying. Once she became Kuchisake-Onna, the streets were never safe again. Children walking home after school, couples crossing dimly lit intersections, even adults returning from night shifts. No one knew who would be her next target. She appeared suddenly, a figure in white, a mask covering her mouth, long black hair brushing her shoulders. Her presence was quiet, until she spoke.
私、綺麗?
The question was simple. The answer, deadly. Say no, and she strikes immediately. Say yes, and she removes her mask, revealing the grotesque slit across her face. How about now? She asks again. Some children fled. Some froze in terror. Some were never seen again. Her attacks were unpredictable. Sometimes she vanished into the night. Other times, she lingered, silent, watching, waiting. Legends tell of ways to survive an encounter. Distract her with coins. Call her by another name. Run in zigzags. Hide behind objects. But these were not guarantees. Survival was luck and courage. Every encounter built fear in the community. Every whisper of her presence sent children running home. Every parent stayed awake past midnight, listening. Communities reacted. Some locked doors and barred windows. Others formed walking groups at night. Schools instructed children never to speak to strangers. Despite these precautions, reports continued. The legend grew stronger. The terror became real. Fear spread faster than the woman herself. Kuchisake-Onna's terror was not limited to her victims. Her story made the entire society cautious. It made children obey. It made adults vigilant. She was no longer just a woman. She became a shadow over streets and homes. A reminder that danger could hide behind the familiar. And as with all legends, fear made her immortal.
綺麗?
Even today, Kuchisake-Onna is remembered, not just in old towns, but in bustling cities. Not just in books, but in whispers on social media, in YouTube videos, in conversations that start quietly and end with a shiver. Her story has crossed borders. Some claim to see her in alleyways of Tokyo. Others speak of similar spirits in Korea, China, and beyond. The slit-mouthed woman has become more than a story. She has become a symbol, a warning, a reflection of human fear itself. Even today, children are told, do not talk to strangers. Do not walk alone at night. Some say that in crowded streets, if a masked woman approaches, if she asks the question, it is too late to run. Am I
私、
beautiful?
綺麗?
Her presence forces a choice, a split second that may decide your fate. Why does this story still terrify? Because it touches something universal. We fear what we cannot control. We fear deception. We fear that someone or something can appear familiar, only to harm us. Kuchisake-Onna is not just about a woman. She is about betrayal, pain, and the consequences of cruelty. She reminds us that fear often walks beside us, silent, patient, waiting. Legends like hers endure because they are mirrors. They show us the darkness in the world and the darkness within ourselves. Each telling keeps her alive. Each whisper gives her strength. Each frightened glance over the shoulder is proof that she still walks among us. And perhaps she will always walk. So, the next time you walk alone at night and you feel that subtle pressure of being watched, if a woman appears, masked or hidden, and tilts her head at you, remember this story and answer carefully. Because Kuchisake-Onna is patient. She does not forgive, and she never forgets. Thank you for joining me tonight as we explore the legend of Kuchisake-Onna. If you enjoyed this journey into folklore and the shadows of the night, make sure to subscribe to Folklore After Midnight. Hit the like button if you want more stories from across Asia, tales that have whispered through generations and still linger in the dark. Share this video with friends who love myths, legends, and the mysteries of the night. Comment below, which legend should we uncover next? Your suggestions might guide the next story we tell under the cover of night. Remember, this channel is dedicated to preserving and sharing folklore from across Asia. We are storytellers, not historians, so enjoy the mysteries responsibly.